Hello Xenosaga fans, I love y'all, but we need to talk. The Xenoblade X erasure needs to stop, right now. All joking aside, I want to make a case for Xenoblade X's connection to the main games, especially after the recent events that occurred in Future Redeemed. With this video, I'm not here to convince you that everything fits perfectly and would fit without any retcons. I want you to hear me out. Understand the points that I'm trying to make, and even after you listen to me and still disagree with my points in this video, it is okay. I just want the discussions to be more open about what Takahashi and his team is cooking right now. So let's get started. Of course, first of all, if you are new here, and you probably are because this is a very new and small channel, please don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe if you like anything I have to say. Now, I want to make things perfectly clear from the beginning. There is a 0% chance that Saga is not connected to all the Blade games after the recent revelations. There was never any doubt in my mind after seeing the cutscene. It does not only reference a specific character in the radio, no, the radio itself has literally the logo of the Vector Industries that is heavily tied to the Xenosaga plot. But it doesn't stop there. The literal trademark that is still with Bandai Namco is in the Xenoblade 3 credits. Yes, they are 100% connected now. Everyone who thinks they are not connected are deflecting way too much. I am not here to disprove the fact that Blade and Saga are connected now, but people are literally ignoring half of the radio conversation to only see the Saga connections sprinkled in here, and are completely ignoring the other hints Takahashi left in front of their nose. I will touch on arguments against X connection and way more later, but first I want to let people know what Saga is and what the connections means to the Xenoblade franchise as a whole. So let's catch people up to speed, and don't worry, I won't do any major Saga spoilers here because I want to be 100% transparent with all of you, right? I only played Saga 1. I watched Saga 2 being played by someone else and never saw anything about Saga 3, but I do know major plot points. As I said, I won't have to spoil anything in this video, and this is also not a case against Saga being connected, okay? So, what is Xenosaga? Xenosaga was developed by Monolith Soft and published by Bandai Namco in 3 parts throughout 2002 and 2006 on the PlayStation 2. After Takahashi's vision of a full story with Xenogears in 1998 couldn't be fulfilled, he left Square Enix in 1999 to co-found Monolith Soft and start working on Xenosaga with Bandai Namco. This was supposed to be a 6-part long story retelling of the Perfect Works, a kind of a reboot to the Xenogears story he and his team was planning to create. Perfect Works is like a bible to the Xeno fandom. It was written to expand the Xenogears lore, exploring multiple episodes in the past telling us everything they had envisioned. The most important part of this book is the timeline of events that were never realized. Xenogears takes place during the episode 5 from the 6 episodes we know, and if you believe it or not, we are still following the Perfect Works timeline. Not completely accurate to this one, but partially. A kind of a reboot of this timeline idea that Takahashi and Team had envisioned. While most people agree that Saga covers episode 1 specifically in this new Perfect Works timeline, many have speculated that Blade 1 and 2 both are kind of a retelling of episode 5, with Torna being episode 4. This may not mean much to you, but until this point this was all speculation and people still thought everything was just different dimensions and not exactly connected. With Future Redeemed's huge blowout, we can now confirm that these are all connected. Klaus's world and the radio we hear in this DLC tells the events prior to episode 1, with the original human Earth disappearing and all the humans leaving Earth to find new places. Takahashi has been playing 5 trillion D chess with us the entire time. And if you're one of the people who never got to play Xenosaga like me, this is the time for the remakes we have all been waiting for. Most of these games never even released in Europe to begin with. We got episode 2, which was the worst one. This is extra funny when you consider that all the titles of the Xenosaga games have German in the subtitle but never released here in Germany. Anyway, all you need to know for the Saga part is we need remakes and everyone needs to play these games now. Now I want to tell you a story of a man who has been hiding hints in front of our noses for years, but with no clear confirmation, people never want to fully connect the dots. Xenoblade 1 did not start as a Xeno game. Takahashi wanted to take the story in a different direction. After his attempts to make the complete Xenogears game failed and Saga was cut short just after 3 episodes, Monolith Soft teamed up with Nintendo of all companies to save the company from Bandai's tight grip that gave them less creative freedom. This new game, named Monado Beginning of the World, should start a new era for Monolith Soft and take on a completely different take from the old franchises. Iwata, the president of Nintendo of Japan at the time, actually had the title changed to honor Takahashi's previous work, and so the new title, Xenoblade, was born. It still had themes that Gears and Saga covered, but it was completely disconnected. Well, at the time. Then they made this open world game Xenoblade X for the Wii U that also seemed completely disconnected, not only from Saga and Gears, but also from Xenoblade as a whole. With the release of Xenoblade 2, Takahashi kept the connections quiet. It was only a sequel in spirit, not in lore, he said. I want to see the faces of people being blown away that this game and Xenoblade 1 were connected. The mysterious supercomputer Alvis was never confirmed to be the third Aegis, Ontos, in both games, so the fanbase was split. The connection was obvious, but they never confirmed it until Future Redeemed. They highly hinted at Alvis being Ontos in the remake for Xenoblade 1, giving him the red core crystal necklace instead of the random key he had in the original game. But this was only a small step to the giant puzzle piece he was creating. Xenoblade 2 also had the conduit now. This not only highly resembles the Zohar from Xenosaga, it was even named that in the files. And even after the game got out, we got Xenoblade 2 lore on the back of the Siren model kit that explained that the conduit was found in Africa, the same Africa that the Zohar was found in Xenosaga. The signs have been in front of us all this time, but it never was confirmed. Xenoblade 3 was tying the worlds of Xenoblade 1 and 2 together after they were split by Klaus's experiment. And that's all we thought the main game was doing. But Future Redeem blew everything out of the water once again. Now that both universes from Xenoblade 1 and 2 are combined again, they are back to being the one and only Planet Earth. The original Earth that disappeared from the Xenosaga universe, or Lost Jerusalem as it's called in Xenosaga. We are back here and everything is connected. And for people who have played Saga 3, they actually already know what is falling towards the Earth at the ending of Future Redeemed. This man and this team are genius. They made every Xenoblade game feel unique and newcomer friendly, but if you dig deeper, they are all connected and it's just beautiful. That leaves one odd one out, doesn't it? And no, I'm not talking about Xenogears, whose rights are still tied to Square. We don't really know if this one will ever be connected, but I wouldn't doubt a confirmation in the future if they can get the rights to that. No, I'm talking about Xenoblade X. The game that is literally titled as a Xenoblade game, and Monolith Soft and Nintendo have still all the rights to it. Is this really just a spin-off? Is it a reboot of episode 1 of the Perfect Works playing in a different dimension or timeline? It most definitely can't be connected, right? I mean, every other single game following the Perfect Works is connected, but why would Xenoblade X be, am I right? No, but seriously, I thought we have been through this. Let's go into the evidence first. Up until this point, we had fan service, non-canon DLC that put Elma in Xenoblade 2. We had X itself have Telethia and reference Homs. And then we had Xenoblade 3's main game having a class and even arts being a direct reference to X. A nice nod, cool Easter eggs. And this is not sarcastic, I mean it. There's a clear difference between Easter eggs that make no logical sense otherwise and absolutely in-your-face hints. Let's talk about that damn radio again. The second part of the radio with the Saberite rebels and Dmitry Yuriev was 100% not an Easter egg, but a confirmation to Xenosaga being connected, and we all agree. But then the first half of the same radio broadcast talks specifically about X events and terms, and people want to ignore that completely and see them as an Easter egg. Listen to this. They drop word for word the coalition government planned the Earthlife colonization project named Project Exodus. These are not terms used in Saga, these are directly coming from X. Word for word, bar for bar. Not only that, the Project Exodus is named completely different in Japan. It is called the Global Species Pan-Immigration Plan and is word for word translated as such and future redeemed as well. Other Japanese speakers are also convinced that this is not an accident. They are 100% referring to the same event. There isn't a single doubt. This is no coincidence. But could this all just be a neat Easter egg? Well, here comes the first big but. If you rewatch Xenoblade X's cutscene again, it doesn't even make sense in the Xenoblade continuity. In X they say aliens were having a war above Earth and then the planet blew up. That is not what happens in Xenoblade 2. Also, to rub things even further, there is even more evidence against X now. Xenosaga made it perfectly clear that there are no aliens in space at all. The whole galaxy is colonized by humans. And in X we know of a bunch of alien races that have control over a large part of the galaxy. So what in the world is going on here? Let me give you a refresher on X, because it might have been a while since you have played this game, or maybe you are one of the 3 million Xenoblade fans who never got to play it in the first place because it is stuck on the Wii U. So, spoilers for Xenoblade X, right? The events are described as follows. Elma is an alien that came from an unknown planet because she saw the threat of 2 alien nations having war above Earth and destroying planet Earth in the process. So she traveled to Earth to warn the humans and help them with new technology to create faster than light speed travel and other advanced alien technologies. So Earth decided to make the Earthlife colonization project Exodus and sent multiple spaceships away from Earth to save humanity. Now I have to address the Future Redeemed radio that states it is May 16th, and if you look on your calendars for 2054, that date doesn't fall on a Wednesday like the radio says. The only dates having May 16th on a Wednesday are in 2046 and afterwards in 2057. So I think the radio actually plays in 2046 because there are no signs of a war at all yet. And listen, Elma came to Earth in the early 2020s to warn humans, so why are they still only flying away when the war is literally already above them? They started going to space before that as well. The questions are already endless now. How did Elma see these events happening? Why did she come alone to save humanity? We don't even know one of the fractions that had a war with the other aliens. We know one fractions are the Ganglion and the other are called Ghosts. This game never answers any of this. And this is only the beginning. The government lied about almost everything considering Project Exodus. They don't even tell the surviving humans about it after they all landed on Mira. The humans that were supposed to be saved, dead on Earth. They transplanted their memories into a data bank and sent them on the ship with a matter reconstructor to just rebuild them again. But some ships went out there with real passengers, says Elma. Then there's also artificially constructed humans among them that were given whole fake life stories that they remember happening but never did. The aliens that caught up with the white whale and shot it down to Mira were ghosts. Why are they following us? I thought they were busy having a war with the Ganglions. So, are the ghosts against humans and Ganglions came to the rescue? No, because Ganglions are also after humans. What? We literally, up to the end of the game, have zero clues about what is actually true and what actually happened. The government lied about everything. When the white whale was fleeing from Earth, only a few bunch of personnel was awake during this and saw the Earth blow up. Listen, in the Xenoblade 2 cutscene, when Klaus presses the button, the Earth disappears. It does look like Earth got blown away. We know Earth disappears from this universe, so Earth getting destroyed is not a point against X not being connected. Well, but the alien forces are not mentioned in Xenoblade 2. They say that the government is fighting against the Saviorite rebels. All I'm saying is that one thing happening doesn't mean that the alien fight could not be happening above space as well. But honestly, I don't even know how much the story the government told us in Xenoblade X is even correct at this point. And the X mysteries don't even end here. The whole planet of Mira is strange. Something is up with this planet. The supercomputer that was transmitting the signals to the human mimesomes was destroyed since they landed on this planet. They should all not be functioning right now. The planet instantly translates every language without any device. People from different time periods entirely try to leave the planet by time travel and they can't. Not even the ganglion can escape back out of the planet. There is something about this planet. And X did not only leave us with too many questions open and a cliffhanger for 8 years, no, they left us with 2 cliffhangers. Lau, who we recently killed, just appeared on the beach again and alive. And then this mysterious figure, the Black Knight, that we only know because of the art book, is approaching him. It's not too much to say that X leaves everything completely unexplained. We don't even know if we can trust the information the game told us because the government is trying to hide everything. What is up with these 2 factions chasing us down? We have no idea. Honest to God, this game is bound for a retcon or even an explanation that makes sense that could easily fit this game into the current timeline of events. And that's exactly what Takahashi is setting up in Future Redeemed. Xenoblade 1 was never meant to be a Xeno game, yet here we are. I don't even think Takahashi thought about combining all these games to Saga until later. A lot of stuff has to be retconned in Xenosaga as well to perfectly fit into the Xenoblade timeline. Also, timeline wise, Xenoblade X only happens 2 years into the future after the experiment, and Xenosaga takes place thousands of years after Earth was lost. Xenoblade X lore say that the ganglion were human creations and can die by human DNA alone. They could be erased in time when Xenosaga starts and humans are the only species in space left alive in 1,000 years. I'm not saying everything fits perfectly. Some things have to be retconned or restated to make everything make sense. But this is Takahashi and Monolith Soft we are talking about. Did you see how they played us for so long and now literally everything is connected? The man who thought about the key visual for Xenoblade 3 with the Mechonis sword and the Urian Titan after the development of Xenoblade 1 ended and before 2 even started. You think they will let Xenoblade X be a side game? After witnessing all this? After specifically mentioning it in Future Redeemed? I don't think so. Let this man cook. We might not find the answers immediately and it will be a tough waiting time until then. But I want the discussions to be more open about both scenarios until we wait for a sequel to this beautiful series. Thank you so much for watching this and please leave a like and do subscribe for Nia if you liked anything I had to say. Do it for her. Bye bye.